of the main points of being smart is for your goals to be attainable and realistic. You will not set realistic goals without taking into consideration your capabilities, without taking into consideration your weaknesses. So one cannot be smart until he understands his strengths, his weaknesses. You understand what I'm trying to say? So it was a very important point. That's just what I wanted to bring out. That it just occurred to me that no one can really be a smart person if he doesn't understand himself. So he says, start with the frog. Start with the things you don't want to do. Self-discovery is a stage that every human being, if he wants to be successful, must go through. Now, if you do everything else on that day apart from getting married, no matter every other thing that you have done, if you had planned to get married that day, no matter every other thing you have done, if you didn't get married, your day will spoil. I know the ABCD rule. These are tasks. The A rules. I think the A task. I think.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Fields and Friends podcast. We are back again with another exciting topic. If you're just joining us for the first time, on this podcast, we mostly discuss about agriculture and social life. So before we dive into the topic of today, I'm going to introduce everybody on set, then we're going to dive into the topic of today.
Hello guys, it's your girl Diani. Let's see what we have for you today.
I am Joshua. I was your guest, so I'm glad to be on set once more.
Guess there.
I'm
Okay.
guessing now.
Anyway, I'm Ojong Dilan. I'm your host. I'm always your host. And the topic for today is hard work or smart work. Is it preferable to work hard or to work smart? Now, I have a bunch of questions here that I'm going to throw to the panelists. Let's see. Joshua, the one goes directly to you.
Jesus.
They say, I want to ask, smart work, does it take grace to be able to work smart?
Grace.
Yes.
Amazing. Grace like God's grace.
Yeah, like God's grace.
Not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily take grace to be able to work smart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just takes common sense, intelligence, and a little bit of innovativeness to be able to be smart. It doesn't necessarily take grace from God. But then there was a passage in the Bible where God gave a certain man, what is his name even in my mind, the ability to do all kind of works of art. You know, the ability to carve, the ability to do sculptures and everything above all his fellows. God can give that ability, that talent to somebody, but that talent doesn't necessarily translate to smartness. You can have that inherent capacity within you to be able to perform some particular tasks excellently, but it doesn't mean that that ability in itself is going to take you to a place where you can dispense before kings. So I think God will give you the talents, but you have to develop the sense, the wisdom, the intelligence, depending also on your context, to be able to expose that gift you receive from God in
To be able to work smart.
Yeah.
So in essence, you need a bit of grace to be able to work smart.
The grace comes in the aspect of the endowment that's given to you, maybe at birth, you know, the gifts or the skill you developed. You see, the Holy Ghost can advise you at some points. The Holy Ghost can direct you and make you very smart. But you know, you will need to understand your context. You will need to have some level of intelligence. You will need to have some level of development personally, some level of awareness. You need to know some things. You need to be proactive.
Okay.
If you want to be smart. So in as much as there's a divine engracement, there's the endowment, there's the wisdom and direction of the Holy Ghost, there is also a demand on the individual to be able to step out, analyze his surrounding, do a SWOT analysis, for example, and act ahead of time. You know, SmartNet talks about specificity, measurability, attainability,
Realistic.
Realistic and
Realisticity.
realistic. Whatever. Thank God I forgot. Whatever. And the timeliness, you know, of goals objective you want to attain. So even if you are a professional footballer, for example, with the endowment and that God has put in you, the endowment of the talents or whatever skill you have, you still need to sit back and be specific with whatever you want to achieve in your life. It's not because of the talent that automatically you just say, okay, I want to play football. No, you have to be specific. Which club do you want to play? At what level do you want to reach? What is it I want to do? You have to be specific with that.
So are you saying that with talent you need hard work, or you you just have, when you have talent to do something, you can just be doing it at the top of your finger without any hard work?
I refuse. Because there are people that are actually talented to do something, but they're actually lazy to do it. Like for example, let me say there are people that have this inborn talent. Let me say there are some ladies or there are some men that can do hairdressing. But most of the times they are reluctant to do the hairdressing, maybe because they have to stand for some period of hours just to do someone's hair. So actually, Grace, what did you even say? I've forgotten.
About grace?
Yes, the
No, about
question.
talent and hard work.
Yeah, so actually you can be talented to do something,
Mhm.
but you are not hardworking enough to do it. Because if you are hardworking, I'm not sure you will not have any sign of laziness or whatsoever. You will not be distracted or discouraged to do anything. Because those who are hardworking are those who are actually energetic to do something despite the conditions or whatsoever.
But what of the saying that says that you can work so hard you become talented?
No, well, if I can come before
Yeah.
coming to that, just the question you asked previously. Nobody marks or gives a note for an exam which is still being written. You know, so you are not set to be smart until you've achieved a specific objective or a
Mhm.
specific goal which was measurable, until you've attained it at what did you say?
Realistic.
At a realistic time frame.
Mhm.
You know, so until you've gone through the various stages or the various parameters of smartness till the end, you are not said to have been smart. You understand? So if you have a gift, a skill, you know, a grace, for example, to do something, and you get not to use it, you are not smart. You get it?
Mhm.
So even if you have a talent to paint and you don't do painting, you've not been smart because you had no objective that was
Voila,
measurable, that was
voila.
specific and
That
attainable.
that brings me now to the question of how do you find yourself? How do you know that you're talented in painting? You have never done painting before. You have because is this same question I asked one other girl when we had an entrepreneurship seminar. Because youths of today, they maybe find themselves engaging in extracurricular activities or different activities that is not really what they feel like they are supposed to be doing. But at the same time, they don't actually know what they are supposed to be doing. So that was asking you, saying that we're talking about talent. How do you really find yourself now? Is it that you try many things until you find the one that's still come? Sure, is it Steve Jobs that said something like that? That you, when you're young, do many things. Like, is it like things of the heart? When the heart wants what it wants, is going to stick.
Well, to know what you have within you, self-discovery is a stage that every human being, if he wants to be successful, must go through. You know, every stage of life, there are three. Everybody goes through these three stages. I think there is the training before manifestation,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go to rest. You know, where you transfer inheritance, but you have to be trained first before you manifest. And in training, one of the first stages is self-discovery. You have to discover who you are. You know, there was a great philosopher that said, "Know thyself." You have to discover who you are, and it is not a one-day thing. It is a process that takes most of your childhood, your adolescence, and sometimes your early adulthood, where you get to know the things you like, the things you don't like, the things who get you angry, the things who get you heartbroken. These are the things. These are the parameters you use to identify what kind of person you are. For example, when you walk on the streets, what do the poor inspire to you? There are some people who are very passionate about orphans. You know, their whole life they just want to help the orphans. I'm not so much moved about orphans as I
Why?
am. I mean, that's not me. I've discovered, right? At first, I felt bad about it. I was like, well, orphans, the orphans, but well, I felt bad not to be
But
moved.
you're an orphan.
I'm not enough. Well, I'm not really. I'm not an orphans, but I mean, I'm not feeling bad when I see orphans because I feel like they still have a life ahead of them. They have opportunities, but I feel very bad about ignorant people. I feel more bad about an ignorant person than an orphan. Why? Because an orphan, if he has the knowledge, he has everything in life. But somebody with ignorance, somebody who is, I mean, I cannot pass by an ignorant person in a field I know and not feel uncomfortable not to share the knowledge I have. But I can pass by an orphans, and I'll be like, well, many people are more disposed to help orphans than to help ignorant people.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what I've discovered in the course of time, in the course of visiting orphanages when we usually have, because we have an organization, we usually do that. So when we go there, I'm not so much concerned about the things we're carrying there. I'm concerned about the time they give us to talk to the orphans. And it is, I mean, it's the knowledge I impact with them that move me. So I've learned myself over time. So I got exposed. And in the course of the exposure, I've learned what I like, what I don't like, what I'm moved by, what I'm not moved by. And it has helped me to pattern and channel my energy towards what I want to do. Now there are some friends of mine who every 14th of February we must go to an orphanage. Well, I will put in my resources there. I will go with them to the orphanage. They will not go to go and pity the
Okay,
orphan.
wait. You don't go with your girlfriends to go and enjoy Valentine's Day. People go back to the orphanage.
We go back to the orphanage.
Yes.
That's, I mean, it's not my initiative. It's the girls' initiative.
Wait. It's like how many girls?
This is the
in
girls. Okay, well,
No, it can depend on the number of girls. Then you just say massive. Let me just.
it is the girls' initiative. I have a group of friends like that.
Okay.
So, if you want to know yourself, I believe you have to be exposed. When you know, like you said, Jeff, you just said, do many things. You have to. Many people are closed up. They live in bubbles, and I don't know how you can live that way. You have to pay attention to the things that move you. You have to pay attention to your surrounding. That's how you will know yourself. You will know. For example, I get offended at little things, and I overlook a lot of big things. You see, so that's how I am. That's how I learned, and I'm still learning myself. You see, so if somebody wants to learn, I didn't used to like agriculture. Whoa, go work farm. See my hand blisters. I've been in the farm for 1 week. I hate agriculture, but I love leadership.
And you found out that.
Yes, I can lead people to work agriculture, and I realized
And
that
wait, before I get to shit, there was this let me say this saying that one guy I was just watching a YouTube video about this hard work and smart work. He was saying that an entrepreneur is not really somebody that knows everything in the field.
in the field,
An entrepreneur is just somebody that can think, can create the job, then I give it to a competent manager to manage it.
Exactly.
That's
I was
where
in the
smart comes in.
Voila.
Because an entrepreneur is supposed to be smart.
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was in the farm the other day, and we had to clear a portion of 250 meter square, and there were grasses all around. And I was like, okay, I was like, everybody stand on the line from start to end, and then just be going that way. But a friend of mine, a classmate in my department, I will call him Boss Baby. He told me that doing it this way is not going to help because people are going to see a very long line that they have to clear, and it's going to affect them psychologically.
So
I
the
think-
shade.
Yeah, he said we should share. I think all of us should come together and walk a round portion. That is, we stand on a round portion and let's be walking and coming towards each other. So that first, the contact is there. There's the entertainment. All of us know that okay, we're going to finish this one. Then when we're done with this particular circle, we'll go to the other one. And boy, we got finished in no time. And we had the energy and we had the vibe. You see, so the entrepreneur doesn't necessarily have to know everything, but he has to know himself. Because I know that I'm not too versed with agriculture and some practices I'm still learning. I had to give in to somebody who understands it, and it made the job easier for me. So to your question of knowing yourself is an important thing to do, but you have to give it time. Give yourself the chance to try. Give yourself the chance to fail. Like there are some things that when I was told to do, I knew it was impossible. Then when I was I hate challenges, but I like them. I hate it because you can't dare me to do something. If you just try, I will do it.
Like,
Even if that
like
is-
the one Peter Tory
Like,
about the GP.
yeah, like what Peter do? If you dare me to do something and you tell me I cannot do it, that's what you've killed it. I will go out of my way, even if it gets me
do it.
blood to shed blood. I will do
Yes.
it and prove it. So I realized it.
But you know
Over
that type of character has a drawback now.
It has many drawbacks, but
Because you have to know where to draw the line. Because there are so like like how I was talking about finding yourself. There are some things you cannot do.
Yeah, that
When you finally find yourself and understand that this is what there are some things,
like
even though parents say you can do anything, there's some things you cannot do.
like there are
No
many
matter how you force it.
There are
yeah.
some things you can
But there are
so,
many challenges are filled woefully, and I had to admit
Yeah.
that's the balance to it where you
Mhm.
admit that okay, this one I feel, but I will not feel that challenge. Obviously, I will not feel. He has left me many marks and many scars. But I will not feel. I will not admit that I failed if I have not tried. You
Mhm.
see, and it has helped me a lot because this project that our department in school is working on, many people told me it will not work. Like many people told me, this idea is impossible. But it's because I love challenges. I said, yeah, I don't know the route to make it happen, but I know it's gonna happen someday.
Yeah,
Definitely.
but that's another thing. If you are not around those type of folk give you that, because I call that of, is it positive criticism or how do I, or
Those
it's
ones were not positive. See, if
negative
you
criticism?
no, that one was not positive. It was because it was negative that it stirred me up. How can you tell me?
Voila.
You see, it was because
So if you don't have those type of people around you now to tell you that this thing will not work,
that even
this your
blasting
project.
you. That even it's the blast that it's like they're insulting you. God.
What I want to say is, how will you have where will you get that energy now?
That drive. If you don't
Yes.
have them, where do you get the drive?
Because someone who responds to challenges, like even before I started this podcast, when I discussed with my uncles, the way they were dragging their legs, I was like, these people did they really see what I'm seeing? I don't really, they don't see what I'm seeing. So I was like, whatever the case, if nobody wants to support me, I'm going alone.
Yeah, but I just thought about something just to digress a little bit. We see, you brought about the question of knowing yourself.
Mhm.
You can never be smart if you don't know yourself. Why? Because one of the main points of being smart is for your goals to be attainable and realistic.
Mhm.
You will not set realistic goals without taking into consideration your capabilities,
Yes.
without taking into consideration your weaknesses. So one cannot be smart until he understands his strengths, his weaknesses. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Mhm.
So it was a very important point. That's just what I wanted to bring out. That
Yeah.
it just occurred to me that no one can really be a smart person
Person, if you don't know
he doesn't
yourself,
understand himself. Yeah,
Now listen to the SWOT.
the SWOT analysis. We have a manager on set.
strength, weaknesses,
Opportunities
opportunities, and threats.
We
Yes.
have a manager on set, please. So
I have a bunch of points. Like I got some stuff online, tips from entrepreneurs on how to be both hardworking. But before I want to get into that, are you sure that is it that if you work hard enough? Because before we were discussing, I had a story where one guy used to read the whole biology book and still go and write and fail. That's hard work, right?
Yeah.
Because he actually read, he tried put in the work and did all the work, but he did not see pass. So how can you weigh that?
But how can you rate it or how can you compare it with
How can I compare with smart work?
Okay.
Because you know what we've been talking about smart work, smart work, smart work. I've left hard work. I'm sure hard work now will be angry because I know that you actually have to put in some work, but smart in a smart way. It's supposed to be something like hard work plus no hard plus smart work. You understand now? Yeah, something like that.
Well, I'm of those who believe that there will not be any smart work if there's not an initial hard work. That's how I view things. You have to work hard in as much as working smart. And in fact, even in the smartness, hard work is inclusive. Because what is smartness? It's just specificity, measurability, attainability, and realist. Yeah, the realistic, the our stuff, and then the timely. So there's no point inside this that you don't see work
Hard work.
included.
So are you saying that to actually be successful, you have to put in a small amount of hard work?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you have to canalize your hard work. You have in any which way you have to be hardworking, because people are not going to use smartness to be lazy. That's not what we're saying. You cannot work farm without being hardworking. Even if they give you all the capital in the world and all the machines and everything, you have to work hard to learn how
Okay,
to
there's
use.
this question I want to ask. Okay, yes, say what I'm saying.
And smartness deals with your ideas. Why for me smartness deals with your ideas. Why hard work is the physical energy you put in.
Mhm.
So there are people that actually have ideas of doing something, but maybe they keep on procrastinating or they are being lazy to do that. So if you are smart enough to think out of the box, but you are not hardworking enough to work hard and to achieve that goal, it doesn't make sense. So hard work and smart work, they are supposed to work
There
together
is
in order
another.
to achieve a
There,
particular
there
goal.
is a video. Sorry for cutting you, that I watched on YouTube when I was trying to make a little bit research about it, and these were two guys who were trying to cut down a tree, and they were in kind of a competition to see who is going to cut more trees in a certain time frame. So the two guys went in the forest and started cutting the trees. I think we saw on something or a kind of blade. So these guys, one will be walking restlessly, you know, continuously for perhaps 5 6 hours trying to cut down more trees. Meanwhile, this guy will be walking, and at every single 1 hour, at every 1 hour
Rest.
that passes, he rests for. He starts working for 10 minutes, then goes back again. After 1 hour, he starts working for 10 minutes, and at the end of the day, the second guy cut more trees than the first guy.
The one who
And-
was resting.
Yeah, the guy was
Yeah.
resting. And the other guy asked me, "How manage? It's impossible. I worked continuously, and you for every 1 hour you rested 10 minutes. Oh, how managed?" And the guy said, "While you were busy working continuously, after every 1 hour, I took 10 minutes to sharpen my blade. That's smart work.
Wow.
You see, he didn't necessarily stop working, but he increased the efficiency as our lady was talking about. He increased the efficiency
Of
He-
his tool.
of his tools. So it was usually said, if you have 5 hours to cut down a tree, use 3 hours to sharpen your tool so that it eases the stress you put into. But the fact is that you still have to put in the stress. The aim of smartness is to channel the effort you put in doing your particular activity. So without effort, no matter how reasonable you are, no matter how innovative you are, you will not see accomplish your task, and you will not have said to be smart.
Okay, let me go to the tips of from entrepreneurs. The first tip he let me say they, because it's a bunch of people. Set boundaries. That is, if you have a particular goal you want to work on, like you say you are going to the farm, you say you used to do this P&E stuff now. Yeah, when it's time for business, switch off your phone, or maybe tell people that no, don't. Now it's time to work. Now it's work time, so that you put in all your effort and you generate that's that 80 that 20 80 rule.
Yes.
Before, I don't know if you will be back to culture at this point, but I
No.
was thinking about something else.
Uh-huh.
The guy who studied the whole biology textbook to go and write the exam, he wasn't working hard, because I just realized with not
He was working
You
smart.
did not even study. That's
Exactly.
called reading.
Yes, he didn't work.
Wait, before you want to say that, let me tell you the story. What happened was that this guy, he was that type of person that when he reads that big biology book, lad, you ask him that, please explain me the nephron or endocrine system. He will explain it to you. He will talk and talk and talk. I don't know whether his problem was that he couldn't write what he had in his head, but when he read that big book of biology, he could actually explain it to you until you understand.
Now, that was that at the eve of the exam, or it was
No,
throughout the year?
he has been studying all through. He's that type of person that if we just start school today, in 2 weeks time, from the first, second, third class, fourth class, he has already started reading.
And what accounts for the failure during the exam?
I don't know, maybe it's pressure.
Did he fail only biology? Did he fail only biology?
He was rolling into his other subjects. He will read chemistry like that because we're in the science class. He will read chemistry like that. He will read biology like that. He will read his physics like that. But
That case can be due to pressure or let me say too much anxiety. Because I once had that issue when I was in my level 300. There was a particular course that I had a good CA mark. I'm sure I had 28 on 30. Then I read the course very well. In fact, I was 100% sure.
that's making you to laugh?
No,
no.
I was 100% sure that I will score an A grade in that particular course because I read everything in my notebook. So when I entered the examination hall, they said I'm sure it was 5 questions that we were supposed to answer all of those 5 questions. So I was very happy because I could answer everything. In fact, I could answer all the questions. So by the time I took my pen to write, that was when too much anxiety and pressure. I forgot.
It's like you know everything.
Yes. So I don't know what happened. I end up answering just one question
Oh,
for
boy.
30 marks. So I don't know how.
Is that within the same lines of,
Yeah, it's-
when you
now
when
that's-
you
that's-
forget to
that's
write
not being
is
smart.
or something?
No, that's not being smart,
That's being-
because
Yes.
that guy, another thing that could have happened to him is that too much knowledge made him mad.
Yes,
So-
that was my problem.
That's-
Because I had too much knowledge in that particular
No,
course.
instead with me now,
Mhm.
with me is different. If I've read something so well that I'm very confident that with all these 5 questions I can answer them perfect. It happened to me in geography advanced level. You know, geography is a course that is a subject that has 12 books,
Yeah.
and you have to read all those 12 books for the GCE. So I read all those 12
Did
books.
you read all the topics in those 12 books?
I think I covered about 80% of all the 12 books.
That's the point now. Because what I did was I covered 100%. Because
Are you
it's,
sure you cover 100%?
I read everything.
Cover
Because
to
it is-
cover.
Yes.
let me say.
See, as a student, right, it's actually difficult for you to. It's not actually easy for you to read every topic in a particular subject or a particular course.
No, but within the scope
So-
of where they are setting, if you can cover it.
Yes, if you can cover it, it's okay. But now you'll be pressurized, or you have too much anxiety where you're in the examination hall, and if you are not careful, you end up forgetting everything or something.
Let me tell you what happened to me in geography. When I had finished reading everything, I slept that night. We were supposed to write at, I think it was 10 o'clock in the morning. I didn't sleep. And the one I say I slept, I didn't even sleep. I read from, I can remember very well, from 8 o'clock in the night till I think it was 9 o'clock or it was 8 o'clock again the next morning.
12 hours.
Yeah,
12 hours.
without resting.
I did not rest.
Jesus.
When I entered the hall, I don't know, my brain is funny. I always like that diameter thing. When I entered the hall, I didn't know which book had which question, but all I knew is that I could answer the question. I just look at the question and I didn't even know whether it came from geomorphology or is it geology or is what. I just put my pen. I was writing. I wrote until I asked for extra sheet. With you flowing like a tap. So you understand?
So what grade did you have?
Now.
Now let me explain something else.
Mhm.
I wrote a course in this second semester I just passed. That was a course I can say I covered 100% of the material that was given to us to study, and I even went extra.
Mhm.
The problem I have with that course is that you were to answer 3 questions,
Yes.
and I knew so much. I knew every detail. I knew every line in the book. Then it's as though I had crammed the book, but it was not really cramming. I understood the concept.
Yes.
So it came a point I didn't know what not to write. I was just writing everything. I took 1 hour to answer the first question. I did not know when they said 1 hour gone. I mean, I was like, what?
Yes, it's not good to
Yeah.
have too much knowledge
I was like-
because you always like to write everything.
No.
even the ones that are not necessary.
See, let me give, and this tip also goes to students. What I do is that now, it happened to me in this our exams we just finished writing. What I do is that, when I have a lot of knowledge, I've read maybe about 90 to 80% of the subject matter. I always try to look at the questions. If it's broken down into section A, section B, section C. In my mind, I know, okay, section A has many questions, so I can take max 45 minutes to answer everything. Maybe section B has 2 questions, but they are long, so I might take more time there. I try to divide it like that. It might not be very accurate, but I try to divide it like that.
That's madness.
Then when I start writing, because I don't know what is inbuilt, I just feel like 1 hour has passed. I don't have a watch. When I start writing, I just feel like it happened to me in the exam. I felt like 1 hour had passed, and I was talking to myself that if I feel like 1 hour has passed, it means where I'm on the right track, because I was already on question B of section 2, the second question of section 2. So I'm already like halfway, since we're 2 hours this thing. So what you have to do is try to look at the questions, read the questions all before you start writing. Even if you have all the stuff and you want to write it fast before it finishes from your head, calm down, relax, look at all the questions you are supposed to write, address them according to how, because there are some teachers that they are going to set a question and they want you to write almost everything, and they know fully well that time is not enough. So try to summarize. First point, let's look in a point form. First of all, read all the questions. That's the first point. Try to summarize. That summarize your work and know that okay, within this time I can do this. Within this time I can do this. Within this time I can do this. If you me when I read the questions, if I feel that question 1 or question 2 is maybe would disturb me even by 5 seconds, would want me to think back, I leave it.
Yeah.
That's what I always do.
I leave it. I take question 3. I take question 2. The one that when I start here it flows. That's the one I take, and I run with it until until I write and I finish.
So how would someone reconcile hard work and smart work when it comes to studies?
No, when it comes.
Okay.
Okay, let me. Okay, say something serious for us.
All right, hard work and smart work. Education as a whole has 2 ways of studying. That is, you either read or you study. Now, reading entails just reading as if you're reading a newspaper without trying to bring out some useful materials from what you've read. Then now, studying is like knowing the methodology of that particular topic and that particular subject or the particular course. Now the methodology comes in with the let me say the topics that are always common in exams, the setting of of a particular lecturer and all the rest. So if you are that type of student that you have already mastered how this particular course is being channeled, how this particular course is being said, you will not have any issues in studying, because students that actually read, they end up having low exam marks as compared to students who study. Because
That's
if
where
you
that's where
study,
talent and hard work meet.
yes, if you study, you don't if you know what it means to study, you don't have to read everything in a particular course. You just have to go and select some few useful things in that course
Really?
and study them. Yes, those useful things that are, let me say, the topics that, because normally even when we're writing at GCE ordinary level, let me say economics as a whole, you know that demand and supply is a very short topic, money and banking, national income and the rest. So why should I read other topics that are not mostly on the examination papers, whereas I know that this particular topic, no matter what, I will always see it in the examination hall. So that's where studying comes in now. Like, you've studied your subject matter, you know what you know what you are supposed to study, you know how the questions are being said, and you work or you focus your mind towards that goal. And obviously, if you focus your mind towards that goal, the outcome of your hard work and the outcome
Of your hard work.
of your hard work will be, let me say, measurable. It
Yeah.
will be realistic, and of course, it's going to be great.
I think smartness come most importantly at the point of setting goals or making plans.
Yes, that's why I said the word smart is an objective in every
No, but you
business.
know, setting when you set goals, like there's this guy, I've forgotten that his name. He said when you set goals, you set 10 goals, and inside those 10 goals, you rate them based on priority. Even inside those 10 goals, you are going to have 5 that you will do first before the other ones.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
But smartness itself is an objective in every business, because we have what we call the smart objective in every business. Now the smart objective comes in when you have to be specific, because you cannot just be an entrepreneur without having a specific objective that you want to attain. You have to you have to specify the particular objective you have to attain. You have to be measurable. Let me say,
Like-
you have to know the amount or the quantity of achievement.
Measurable in the sense that
Like,
it
for
needs to be attainable.
like no.
No.
Like, for
Or
example,
realistic.
Like for example,
No,
like for
they are
example, a
different.
specific objective can be increasing stock or increasing sales, and then measurable is by 50% or 100%.
Yes.
Then
You should
now,
be able to quantify it.
then attainable now comes in when you have to measure. Attainable now deals with your SWOT analysis, where you have to measure your strength, your weakness, your opportunity and threat. Because before attaining your objectives, you have to know your strength. That's your strength, and you know with what you can do, you now know how you can put in, or what you can put in your business in order to attain your objective. You
Yeah.
have to know your weaknesses, that's your limitations. You have to know your opportunities, and the threats now, which is the threats
External
now,
things that
external
can
factors,
affect your
yes, or
business.
your
Yeah.
competitors.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
all
Yes.
about attainable. Then realistic, you cannot just assume that I have achieved my goals without being realistic, or people cannot see the goal. That's what realistic means. People are supposed to see it, and in order for you to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to have a time frame of which you are supposed to achieve your goals. You cannot just say, okay, my goal of my business is to maximize profit. But now you don't have a particular time
You
frame.
don't say maybe in 1 year
In
or in
one
two
year, or maybe
years.
you can even have the business for about 50 years without achieving that goal. But if you have a particular time frame, you are going to work towards that time frame in order to achieve your goals.
Mhm.
So the reconciliation of smartness and hard work in, for example, the school setting, the business setting, whatever setting it is that smartness comes in the planning process, in goal setting, for example, when you want to define the objectives, the plans, and the cause of your business. That's where you have to be smart in determining what objective you want to achieve, how and when. You know, then the hard work part of it comes
It's
in
later.
in the implementation
In the
of those
implementation,
goals yourself. So
that to be there every day, you are always working towards that goal
yeah.
to make it move forward.
So for me, I think that's the
But
balance of.
let me get back to my tips. She has already maybe ironed out everything I have on my list here because I first of all talked about setting boundaries. We already know how that one works. Now, use the right tools. Like I made this comment. Like students now who are in the artificial intelligence age, and I'm not encouraging students to maybe use AI um to do all their work for them, but it should be as a guide. Because sometimes you might want to think about, it has happened to me. They might give you an assignment and you don't know how to approach that assignment. But if you type that assignment or you type a question and ask the artificial intelligence, it's going to give you an idea of how to approach that. Then now you go online, do more research, get your references, your citations, build your report, and you're good to go. That's a good tool. You understand now? Yeah, it's smiling. Because I know university students will always look at this thing and say it's cartouche. Yeah.
You know, the thing with AI is that we're in a kind of class where they give us assignment, and it's funny to go to make an expose, and somebody is having the exact words.
Yes.
What?
Say I am an AI intelligent. I'm going to give you this.
Everybody
That's
is
not
having.
smartness.
Now, the
That's
problem
the
with AI is this, which I encountered once, is that when now they give you something that requires creativity, you no longer cannot be creative. Because AI is not in your context.
Mm-hmm.
AI doesn't deal with the resources you have at hand.
Yes.
AI doesn't understand your boss,
Mm-hmm.
for example. So if you're in a kind of work setting that does not require necessarily academic knowledge, and all the
Yes.
while you've been relying on AI, you've lost your creativity.
You will not be able to think for yourself.
To sit down and say,
Yeah, I understand you. Yes, that's very
you
true.
can no longer brainstorm. That's the
Brainstorm.
problem I have with
Mhm.
AI. And you see, but on the other hand, also, the world is becoming AIized.
Yes.
It's moving towards the sphere of artificial intelligence, and we have to get acquainted with it. Now we
Yeah.
have to get acquainted with it in such a way that it doesn't jeopardize our ability to think, because that's what is going to happen.
No, many students have that problem because even in while in the faculty of agriculture, they will ask a question like, um, write a report on the different pest and disease management strategies for armyworm. You just go and put it in AI, that same question, and it's going to run you through the whole thing, or you just copy and paste and
And-
just edit the wording so it looks nice, then you can paste, give it to your teacher. When they are going to actually ask you that question on the field, because there was one guy that he had that same problem. All his assignments, there was one semester we just had only assignments, exposés.
That's
Yes.
third year, second semester.
All he did was use AI to come up with all those things. Then during the exam now, he was like, "Chai, man, don't use AI since man go write exam now." You have not read.
That's the thing.
You have not actually read, because if you're actually reading to do those assignments, brainstorming, thinking, having
That's
ideas.
madness without hard work.
Now,
And that's where we lead everybody to. Because you will come to a point where
That
you
is this madness or madness?
That's madness. It's
Okay.
not madness. That's madness without hard work. That's exactly what it is. Because you've gone to use AI. In fact, you can't even be smart without being hardworking. I stand on that fact, because that's foolishness. At the end of the day, you come to the point where you are in front of an exam paper, or you are in an exam period. You're supposed to write, and then you have to go back through every topic
Yeah.
upon which you did the assignment to come and
Yes,
read
to
again.
come
He
and
said he
read
was not
again.
smart
Yeah,
throughout
he
the end
was
of the year.
not
He was being foolish.
No, he showed in his final year results now.
Oh,
It showed,
translated.
Yeah, it has to show. And I feel that even though I don't know if it's true, he surely used a cartouche when he entered the exam hall, because you don't know what to write.
Exactly.
You don't know what to write. Somebody will be in his house, sleepless nights, thinking about the points he can put down to make this report good. Then
And
you sit and
And
fix
you know,
it.
there's just a way when you're the one writing your report, you're confident about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Your
that,
project.
yeah, your project, you are the one on the field.
Yeah.
And it makes it interesting to know that there's a human touch to it.
Mhm.
You know, if you read an AI text, there's a way you will know. Even if, I'm telling you, there was a write-up I asked a friend of mine to make for something like a podcast like this or to put online. I know I went online and I read the post she made, the write-up before the
It looks
post,
like AI
and I
generated
knew everything was AI because it has
the words are there.
It was just too accurate.
no. It's the word she cannot use this
She
stuff.
cannot use it, it doesn't have a human touch. Because there's a way you can read something and it sounds funny to you. You know, this one is, it's our context here, but
Mm-hmm.
AI will not give you that. AI will not give you that. So I think, well, in as much as you use the right tools, don't just use anything to do your
And another point for tips to become more to do more smart work. Work in short bursts of 90 minutes or work and take breaks. You said that you said it, yeah,
Give an example.
an example where the guy took a break and he sharpened his machete so that he can be able to work well. That's that's intertwining the 2 points between using the right tools and taking breaks when you're working.
yes.
Like for students, you can be reading in a particular subject and maybe it's flowing, but at one point in time you get distracted. And what Jordan Peterson talked about that when I watched the video about that, he was saying that when you're reading and you get distracted like that, allow yourself to be distracted
Yeah.
until that time pass, then you get back to your work.
That's
Yeah.
what I always
Brian Tracy once said, when you do something or when you're doing something, do it. Or when you're somewhere,
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, like don't be maybe on a date with someone and you're pressing your phone.
Exactly. Don't be on the podcast and you're pressing your phone.
No, I'm taking a point.
You understand? So if you're studying, study.
Yes.
And if you play.
Mhm.
Oh, when it's time to play, I play
You
very
cannot
bad.
serve
Yeah.
two masters
Yeah.
at a time.
For example, oh.
No, but some people can. Some
Really?
people can try.
Mm.
I don't think so.
They can try now, but it's not always going to end up.
Yeah. Because you
It's
realize,
like this jack of all trade type of thing now.
Master of none.
Yes.
yeah, you'll be doing so many things and you will do nothing well. You will spread yourself so much. So
Yeah, spread
when you're
yourself
doing
very thin.
something, do it.
Mhm.
Next point on your.
Next point we have the Pareto principle, the 80-20-80 rule.
The Pareto principle says that in a list of 10 particular activities you need to do, sometimes only 2 are worth the effort.
How does that explain to 80-20 rule?
Let me explain that.
Okay, you meant
You have 10 activities you need to do in a day, right? And of those 10 activities you have to do in one day that you have planned your day, there are 2 which are most important. Those 2 carry 80% of the importance or should carry 80% of your attention. Understanding? That's the 80-20 rule. Why 8 of them?
No, but I was looking at it like
That's why I said you didn't explain it properly. So you understand why 8 of them should just have 20%
that's
of
where
your
my
attention.
creativity
that
comes
day.
in.
You went on AI. That's what now.
Instead, if I went on AI, I would have gotten what they are saying.
No, you went on AI. You just read it. You understand? You get it now. So in a day, there are 2 things that if you don't do that day, no matter every other thing you have done, your day will have still gone useless.
Yes.
For example, a day where you were supposed to get married.
And I actually wrote it here, prioritize task.
Easy. A day where perhaps you were supposed to get married, maybe buy a new car. All in the same day. Maybe you were supposed to go and buy a new car, and then you were supposed to sign some business contracts, and you were supposed to go and visit a sharing school. And let's assume you were supposed to get married that day, or the way marriage are done in the US. Now, if you do everything else on that day apart from getting married, no matter every other thing that you have done, if you had planned to get married that day, no matter every other thing you have done, if you didn't get married, your day will spoil. That was just a scratch example. You understand? So, for example, there are things you can plan to do during the day. Review your emails. That's something you can do. Submit a report. That's something you can do. Register your courses online. If let's assume it's the last day, that's something you can do. Visit a friend in the hospital who is sick. That's something you can do. Check up on somebody. These are a list of things you can do. Now, all of those things, they're on the list of things you have to do in a day. But on that list, if you don't register your courses online, if you don't submit your boss report at work, No matter even if you go and visit that your friend, even if you reply all your emails, if you don't do these two things, you require 80% of your attention, then you will have wasted it. So this is the 80-20 rule. Put 80% on your attention, on those two things. You know.
Okay.
That's
Then
what
the last point, and
But before you go on the last point, there is this other principles that go with the 80-20 rule.
for sure.
The principle of eat the frog. Eat that frog. The frog is that thing you don't want to eat. It's that particular task you don't want to do. You always procrastinate on it. Now this is the 20. These are the two.
Yeah, and procrastination too is another
This
point.
is the 20% of it. So he says, start with the frog. Start with the things you don't want to do. You realize that once you are done, there are just some things that when you do in a day, you feel like your
free.
day is,
Yeah,
you feel like day is free. Maybe if you push it later, you still feel like, boy, there's something
I've not done.
Even if you get it, that's where the Pareto principles come in. And when
Mhm.
you attach it to doing the priority first, then you realize that you'll be very smart person.
Well, the last point I have is delegate task. That's know when to ask for help.
That's the ABCDE rule. The ABC. But let me just see this online. There was a point in my life where, I knew I had to become smart. I knew I had to be wise. As I was never really
A wise boy.
I was scattered, and I know many.
How do you used to get those girls? Was wise man that is.
I think come back
Okay, continue.
I was scattered. I was just doing things anyhow. I was not arranged. I mean, I was just up there. But then at one point, that's breaking 2023 last year. So I said, okay, let me plan my year. Let me make my life in a way, because I had
to plan.
1 point something GPE. Imagine year one, so it was very frustrating. I said, I can't.
So where did that 4 come from?
The 4 came. It was this year now. The 1 point, so it was that. So my life was going in the direction I was not getting it. So I said, let me start learning. That's why I started learning all these principles. I watched the videos again and again and again. I crammed them. I crammed the principle. I started applying them.
Applying a while.
And it has produced the result. It is producing the results so far. So I know the ABCD rule. These are tasks. The A rules, I think the A task are things you must do by yourself.
Yeah.
That nobody else can do apart from you. You get it? The B rules, the B tasks are those you can do. You have the ability to do.
Yeah, but
But another person can
still
do it as much as you can do. So
So-
don't spend your time doing it.
yes.
You see?
Or you can divide it. You do part of it and
and then just monitor.
Okay, yeah.
They see things are the things you can do, but you shouldn't do.
Instead, I thought the C can be something that I cannot even do, that I must give it to somebody.
Well, and in the D, well, the B coming to the B is something that you should do if the A is done.
Okay.
Yes, it's something you should do if the A has been done. And the C is something you can do, but you should give to somebody so that you can concentrate on the A and the B.
Okay.
The D, it's been long I read those things, but these are just the principles which have helped me to focus. Like in that project in school, there are things that nobody will do. I'm the one who must do because they must be perfect.
Yeah.
And there are things that I can do, but I would prefer to give it to somebody else to do so that they develop.
You cannot do everything alone now.
Yes,
you
so that
must-
it also helps you to develop, to make them grow, because a good leader should also be able. In fact, the quality, the hallmark of a leader is in his ability to raise other people like him. So that if you raise an edifice, when you leave, let that edifice not collapse. So the B task and the B and the C task are the things you use to train your leaders. Things that if they fail, it will not be so detrimental to the business. For example, you will not the chairmanship. You will not assign the chairmanship of an important meeting where you should sign a contract of millions to your assistants.
Yeah,
when
you
are
have
there.
to be there.
You have to be there. But there are some kind of organizational meetings you will ask your VP to go and attend. You
Yes.
see, just so that's kind of the ABCD rule to prioritize and delegate tasks. These are some of the principles you can go and study. You will get more and more.
Okay. So we can end it here for today. Guys, you have listened to all what we have been saying about hard work, about smart work. But I just want to give a small advice. Work hard, but also work smart. Because if you don't work smart, your hard work will have no meaning.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it at that. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.